Welcome back, my friends, and before we get started, just check me out. I got to be on the DNC podcast once again. This time it was our post-Oscars show. Last week was pre-Oscars, and we discuss and cuss our predictions, as well as some other Academy nominations, the awards show in general, some other Oscar-themed discussions, as well as I got to even recite a poem I wrote many moons ago. It was a parody of The Raven called The Vader, and you want to check it out. If you don't mind a little bit of more mature, harsh, vulgar language at times, you'll want to catch out the DNC podcast. They'll be posting that show this Wednesday on dncpodcast.com/blog. So check it out there. It was a fun time. Thank you, gentlemen, for letting me on the show again. Now, on to today's show, which is the Safe House review. Yes, we're reviewing Safe House, brought to you by newer director Daniel Espinosa, and it stars Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds, as well as a great supporting cast in Brendan Gleeson, Sam Shepard, and Robert Patrick, just to name a few. Now, the story tells us of Ryan Reynolds' character, Matt Weston, who's in charge of a safe house where nothing really has happened for the 12 months he's been there. Until, of course, Tobin Frost comes along and turns himself in, and he gets put in the custody of Weston. Now, Tobin's played by Denzel Washington. Tobin Frost is the CIA's #1 wanted rogue agent who's been selling secrets for years, and why he's turned himself in, well, there's some events that you're not quite sure of why there. Also, what ends up happening is the safe house is compromised, and so Weston is in charge of keeping track of Tobin Frost, keeping him in his custody, all the while trying to figure out who exactly is betraying their information and their secret locations and such. Folks, we've seen this type of story before, so there's nothing too original or groundbreaking there, but what is nice to see is Ryan Reynolds in a gritty action role. He shows that he can do so many things, and not just a comedy with Sandra Bullock. He was great in, I believe it was called Buried, and now he does an excellent performance here in his Matt Weston, a green agent who just wants to move ahead in his career and trying to be the good guy in a company full of people who aren't quite so good, okay? And then you got Denzel Washington playing the dark, kind of borderline bad guy, good guy role. You're not quite sure how to place him, but you can't help but like his character, okay? Very charismatic on the screen. I love Denzel when he's in these dark roles, and he plays a pretty big, badass action guy as well. Great to see him go toe-to-toe with some of these guys and beat the snot out of them. Always fun to watch in an action movie like this. Ryan Reynolds also sells the action very well. He plays a little bit more of the vulnerable hero, sort of a la Bruce Willis in Die Hard, where he's the hero and it's a movie, so he's probably going to make it, but there is enough vulnerability in his character so you have a little bit of doubt of going, well, maybe he just might not make it this time around. So it was great to see him in a role like that. Hopefully we see him in that role a lot more. Now, the only thing I really didn't care for too much was the up-close shaky cam action shots, which Daniel brought, which seems to be the new school of shooting action films. Don't exactly care for that. Still like the wider shots where you can actually tell what's going on. I know it's for kinetic and make you feel the chaos of a fight, but still, it'd be like to see a lot more what's going on. In fact, there are some other shaky cam shots which I could have done without, but they didn't take totally away from the film because Ryan Reynolds and Denzel Washington put on some great performances. The two have great chemistry together, and the scenes that they're in, no one's really truly stealing the other one. They both play off each other very well, and it was nice to see too. Folks, I give Safe House 3 stubs. Not a phenomenal film. There are some holes in it and plot things going on, and predictability is there as well, but it is still a decent action film, and seeing Ryan Reynolds and Denzel Washington together was pleasant experience and overall, folks. So definitely check it out if you like those two actors. At least see it in a matinee. And until next time, folks, keep that ticket stub.